Is going on, FA Nation? John Pepe here with James Grande. Welcome to the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Game Day Playbook Preview Show. Today, we are taking a look at the 9-game DraftKings main slate. I got my 9s and 6s flipped upside down. It's because it starts at 6:40 here, James. That's what threw me off there. Where DraftKings has been flipping and flopping on their 7 o'clock start times, their 6:40 start times. For this slate, maybe it's because of the caliber of pitching they want to fit in here. We're getting 3 games starting off at 6:40 here. We appreciate you all tuning in to our preview show. We'll be back here live 5 p.m. Eastern time to break it all down for you again with official lineup news, weather alerts, and all the good stuff in between there to get you guys ready for your DraftKings main slates. James, man, how we doing?
My son also confuses 6 and 9s, and he's 4, so I understand completely.
The worst of it happens to me is on a golf course when I grab my 6-iron or my 9-iron. I have to double check to make sure I'm holding it correctly, because those are 2 different clubs that go very different distances.
So. Right. I thought when you started that, I thought you were going to say on your scorecard, not your golf clubs. But
I wish I shot a 69 on my scorecard. That'd be great.
No, it per hole. You wrote 6, but it was actually a 9. Yeah. Doing well. We are recording on Sunday night, so happy Father's Day to all that. Our dads are, we're dads. Everything in between. It's a great day for us. I think I'm a very proud father, John, here, father of 2 now, and it's really cool. So salute to all the dads out there before we get any further. And so it should be a fun 9-game breakdown that includes cores, includes a very good team in cores. Unfortunately, that very good team lost 2 very good pieces to the equation for quite a while. I believe they're going to get Max Muncy back some point soon-ish, but not on this slate. So, maybe...
Yeah, Dodgers. Mookie Betts, if you're just tuning in, don't know. Mookie Betts fractured hand. And Yamamoto there with the rotator cuff strain. So both of those guys expected to miss some time. They're in course. So
we have a 7K player.
Is it Ohtani?
It is. He is $7,000.
Wow.
He is more expensive than 5 starters on this slate.
He's honestly deserved, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, did Acuna last year get to 7K?
He may have.
We'd have to go back in the vault, and check. But
find an Acuna core slate and see if you got the 7K.
Find an Acuna core slate. But $7,000 is definitely the first time that's happened this year.
I agree. Let's get pitching in here because again, we have some pretty good matchups here at the top. Sonny Gray against Miami at 10-5. Max Fried home against Detroit, 98. Paul Skeens home against Cincinnati at 95. Your top 3 price pitchers. Now DraftKings gives it a little rain symbol. We'll have to check the weather in Pittsburgh to see if that game is going to be safe or not. Again, we go live at 5 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have the latest weather reports when you check back in with us. But of that top group here, I mean, how would you rank them out? Gray, Fried, Skeens.
It's impossible not to rank Paul Skeens 1. I know it's impossible. I mean, the strikeouts are there. The fact that he went out for the 7th inning in that game, it's there. There's a lot of strikeout appeal in this spot. Cincinnati's been much better against left-handed pitching. Obviously, they've been a little better against right-handed pitching overall of late. But Skeens is 1 for me. Sonny Gray, I can't get right. Just was absolutely electric against Pittsburgh. Only 84 pitches. Nothing changed on that front. He just didn't walk anybody and didn't allow any contact at all. 9 strikeouts, 4 hits, 1 walk, and he absolutely demolished Pittsburgh. And St. Louis pitching in general that weekend, or that 3-game span, just absolutely torched the Pirates. So he's fine. I would probably rank him 3rd. I know it's a really good matchup against Miami. If you don't get that perfect blend of strikeouts, no hits, and no walks, I mean, he's not giving you 7 innings very often. So I'll go Fried 2nd. I know Detroit does hit lefties better. I mean, in the middle of that lineup, it's still like Mark Canha hitting fourth.
I mean, it's still pretty terrible for them. I would say like they don't really strike out a ton against lefties. 221%, 18th in baseball, but 230 batting average is 20th. Their ISO is sitting at 25th at 117, which is awful. And then their WOBA is 27th at 286. So yeah, Fried not necessarily a strikeout guy. He struck out Boston really well. Obviously, had 9 Ks against Chicago. So maybe this is more of like a middling strikeout game where he gets 5-6 Ks, but this is a dude that has 2 complete games this year. There's a real chance that he throws a complete game in this one if they're going to let him go out there and do it, just sort of given how poor Detroit's been this year against lefties.
Yeah, he's been quite good.
He doesn't have the Sonny Gray problem. They let him throw over 100 pitches. So.
Yep, and him and Skeens, and that's why I think both them I lean over Sonny.
And they're cheaper.
And they're also cheaper, correct.
And if you want to spend a $7,000 Ohtani, getting to do a 10-5 starting pitcher could be a bit troublesome there. Below is an interesting spot. We have Yusei Kikuchi going up against the Boston Red Sox. We've talked Red Sox against lefties. We just highlighted Max Fried. He had the big game. Then we went to Christopher Sanchez. Christopher Sanchez did not have the same level of success that we wanted against Boston. Kikuchi's having a relatively good year. We know the strikeout numbers for him are around a strikeout per inning. Where are you with this overall matchup? Because right next to him in salary is Nick Pivetta. So you got Boston, Toronto facing off here.
So I feel like this is biting us in the butt a lot, this lefty versus Boston thing. So just looking at some numbers, okay? Just in June. So basically a 2-week sample against left-handed pitching. The strikeout rate has not gotten any better. 29% in June, which is a astronomical rate. And that's actually third in the league. There's 2 teams with higher strikeout rates against South Boston. They are better offensively. 744 OPS is 12th overall. Not a lot of slug. It's just literally like OPS is solid. They're 12th in WOBA and they're 14th in WRC plus. So they're better than league average in most offensive categories against lefties, except the strikeouts, which is obviously a concern when you got Kikuchi here, who's been basically a strikeout per inning guy this year. So I think the ballpark is good here. Obviously, it's an upgrade from Fenway. I'm good with it. I'm not in love with it because although they're striking out a lot, Boston has been relatively good against left-handed pitching over the last month. So I'm good with it.
Their young guys are starting to hit the ball.
They are.
Those guys have been also from the left side of the plate. I mean, it's weird. Yeah, again, I'm a Red Sox fan. I watch this team every day. And I'm like, I don't know how they're scoring runs. I don't know how they're doing, but like David Hamilton has like 3 hits and an RBI every time I look at the scoreboard. Yep. So like
Jarren Duran, David Hamilton, Ref Snyder, Devers, Wong, all 1 through 5 tonight, all have nearly 800 plus OPS. It's like,
and that's not Raphael's hit 9th. He's got another 2 hits. Like he's just
and Tyler O'Neill's back. He's been good. Like it's a pesky lineup. Like Boston has a lot more pesk than they had earlier in the year when like Trevor Story's corpse was like 0 for 65 to start the year. So
Vaughn Grissom wasn't going to the
I mean, what are we doing?
Like
he was doing the Miguel Vargas last year spring training, but like without actual injury, he just wasn't swinging.
He wasn't instructed not to swing.
He just chose not to. So
Agreed.
like I think Kikuchi's like I'm kind of indifferent. I'd almost be more interested in Pivetta. No shocker, we saw the Pivetta last game because you never can guess when a good Nick Pivetta game's coming because it's good and bad. There's never just a like fine outing. It's just all good or all bad, right?
Yeah, and I don't really want to tempt him here either. Toronto 27th in strikeout rate against right-handed pitching. I mean, again, I worry a little bit there. The price 83. Christopher Sanchez is on the slate. He's going up against the Padres here. San Diego's team has certainly gotten a bit better of late. Overall, though, they're still a bottom 20 team in almost every offensive category against left-handed pitching, except strikeouts, where they have just an 18% strikeout rate. So, like, certainly a bit frustrating there. Assad, another guy that he's been fine this year, but like his numbers don't necessarily jump off the board. He's home against San Francisco. I mean, where are you? Like, what's your next move here in this line? Does anybody even? I mean, you got James Paxton and Coors. I mean, that doesn't feel. Not saying we're gonna play him there. I'm just saying like, there's some bats I feel like we're gonna want to spend up for here, but there isn't really a ton of value that on this slate either for pitching.
I would say Jordan Hicks, if he actually does make this start, I'm assuming he's okay. He was ill the last time he took the mound. I think that there's some nice appeal in this game. The Cubs are a high strikeout team, not very good against right-handed pitching, bottom 5 or bottom 10 rather in most offensive categories. So I don't hate Jordan Hicks at 78. Soriano's been pretty good in each of his last 2 starts against 2 pretty good teams, the Padres and Arizona. I don't want to really tempt fate there. Braxton Garrett, he's been kind of unlucky this year. St. Louis continues to like kind of be bad against left-handed pitching. So I know they have like Mason Wynn, who's been fine, but St. Louis overall in the year, 26th in ISO. Their team OPS 614 is 29th. So maybe Braxton Garrett at 72. I think we have to find some interest if you want to play Coors, right? Like you
Agreed.
said. I mean, it's because there's obvious appeal to saying, screw it, I'm not going to pay $7K for Ohtani. More often than not, like the numbers in my favor will play out like of him possibly going 1 for 3 or 0 for 4, whatever. And then just going like Skeens Freed. And then like, I'll get my 60 fantasy points from there.
Right.
But if you do want to play Coors, like Braxton Garrett, I think is a little bit interesting. I don't think you can play Paxton. I know Colorado's like pretty banged up and Paxton's been dreadful. Reese Olson has come back to earth over his
Did you
last
go to
3
John
starts.
Gray at all? I mean, he pitched in relief against the Giants as like sort of like a return like bullpen game for himself. And then he was on a pitch count against the Dodgers. Pitched well. And now expectations are he's a full go here against the Mets. It's probably some win equity built in here. He's obviously pitched really well. Yep. Now the Mets offense has started to click. Yes. So that could be a little concerning, but it's like a fair price if he gets a win here.
So it is clicking. Not against righties in June though. 24th in OPS in June for the Mets. So yeah, I mean, what would the number have to be for John Gray's pitch count for you to feel comfortable?
I mean, he got 65 pitches. I have to assume like that was like he is good to go now.
We're fully ramped.
Yeah, I would think so.
He was actually pitching on short rest too, 4-day rest there.
But that's because he was limited.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like that's still a lot of. That's. I feel like that's pretty close to. Yeah,
so I mean, 65. If he throws 75,
I mean, it was a groin pre-injury list, right? So like, I'm sure
he missed 3 weeks. They had him throw a game out of the bullpen as like a ramp up because
right.
I don't know sure. Obviously dominated against the Giants, and they had him first actual start back on a pitch limit, which he was very good against the Dodgers. So
right. No, I'm with you. I'm not against it. I'm just more so talking it out because
after that, like, I don't know what else I would throw out there. So
I think Garrett is a little bit interesting, and only reason I say that St. Louis hasn't been good against left-handed pitching this year, and when you look at the Braxton Garrett peripheral numbers, he has been incredibly unlucky this year. So his ERA 6.10, John, his FIP 3.89, his xFIP 3.57, his Sierra this year 3.4. Batted balls against Braxton Garrett this year 3.23. I mean, he's just run into a lot of 54% left on base for a guy who holds
It's a
over
lot of
70%.
legacy good numbers against lefties on the Cardinals, but obviously they're not
At
performing to that
all.
level now.
Yeah,
So
at all. Right.
yeah,
I'm just saying, like, I don't
sure.
we don't have a lot to. There's
He
not a
has an
lot to
11
like.
ERA at home. Does that concern you?
No,
16 runs in 12 innings.
it's crazy that is the case, because like that's historically been a good pitcher's ballpark. He's only made 6 starts this year. Like, it's not even a large sample, but
Yeah, he's Phillies hung 5-5, Mets hung 6-4, and Tampa Bay hung 5-2 on him there. And, he has a complete game shutout against Arizona, one of the best teams in baseball against left-handed pitching this year. So
yeah,
who
yeah.
knows? Who
What
knows?
what do we got for this Carlos Rodriguez, Milwaukee Brewer?
He was good at the minor league level and over like the final handful of starts he had made was what the report was there. He obviously was average against Toronto.
5.17 ERA at AAA, but without looking at the previous few starts, like you said, he had been pitching well. He is over a strikeout per inning. He had a 11 K per nine basically every single season he's been in the minor leagues before this year. Like last year at AAA, well, I guess at AA really 11 K per nine. This year at AAA 9.5 K per nine.
Going into his first start, the analysis there on the page says he had given up just 12 runs over his previous 7 starts with a 47-11 K to walk ratio. So like his 7 starts going into his call up were far better than his starts prior to that. So again, I don't know. It is the Angels.
Good
Angels
spot.
against the righty.
Yeah. And Rengifo got hurt.
Yeah.
Who's been one of their best players this year. So
yeah, could be a dart throw. Catcher, what we always talk about, like find the value and plug him in. Jonah Heim is out, so I guess we'll probably get Kisner, right, as the catcher there.
Yeah.
$2,100 punt.
Yay.
And Peterson, or they go Huff. They called up Huff. One of those two will be 2K punts.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's all bad, John.
Randall 3,100.
Yeah, Henry Davis hit the IL, so he's dead.
Connor Wong's 36. Connor Wong had another big night tonight. Red Sox up 7-3 on the Yankees. I don't know where that came from, but Wong's got 2 RBIs, a triple.
Connor Wong's really fast, obviously.
He is actually fast. That is true. He does steal bases. So he's there against Kikuchi. Ivan Herrera versus Garrett. If you wanted to play that, I guess you could. But I got nothing else. You got anything?
No. I mean, I would be down to play either Braves catcher with how bad Reese Olson's been lately, and just with the Braves offense. You were the first one to point out like how good it's been or how unlucky it's been for the Braves, and then they went this weekend and they just went nuclear like every day. So one of the Braves catchers I think would be in play.
Okay, first base then. First base has obviously Ohtani at 7K and Freeman at $6,300. Super expensive against Paul Quantrill here, or Cal Quantrill, not Paul Quantrill. Paul Quantrill.
Shout out his dad. Shout out his dad. Yep, that's
his dad. Father's Day, right? Calling him out. Cal Quantrill there. Bryce Harper versus Randy Vasquez.
You're good at this. You're good at this. Let me tell you. Yeah.
You know what happened was I was playing Major League Baseball featuring Ken Griffey Jr. on N64 the other day, and Paul Quantrill's in that game because it's from 1998 rosters, and it just like threw me off. So,
shout out. You're good at this, John. You're good at this.
Anyways, Harper versus Randy Vasquez, 6,100.
Yes, lefties versus Randy
Vasquez is the bingo play. So we got some Schwarber, some Harper.
Dude, still, like, I feel like I said these. I feel like we talked about the Randy Vasquez splits like 2 weeks ago, and they just like are. I feel like getting worse. 448 average, 1,200 OPS for lefties. I mean, Not good, dude.
Yeah.
Let me ask you on a how, if you're building 20 lineups, what percent of them are 7K Otani / 63 Freeman stack?
I mean, I don't even know. Okay, if we did this, no, wrong button. We did this.
It's like Skeens, right? Like you would have to play Skeens at that point. And
If you did Gray and Skeens, what does that get you? 3,200 a player. You're probably punting Kisner down here.
I think
Right?
people are punting. I think we're gonna get ownership on something below John Gray, would be my guess.
So I mean, you do something like this. You think, yeah, right. You go down here, like,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be something like
but
that.
it's still not like a ton of money. But I
Oh,
guess it's doable. I'm sure there's a 2K outfielder. Someone will get called up to
yep,
play for Mookie, or they'll do,
Gavin.
Pages, Taylor, and
Yeah.
I don't know, Haywood in the outfield there. So like, but yeah, so I mean, just like without that, you have 3,800 with just those three. So
Because like if we're playing Dodgers, no Mookie, and like even I mean Will Smith is 5,800 in cores, right? Like those are the three best players. You're not gonna like, oh, I'm just gonna play Otani and not play the others, or I'm just gonna play Freeman. Like, where do you draw the line? Like, what's
yeah.
your approach here on like Dodgers in general?
Well, the thing is, you can probably only play three, right? You spend up on two, and then you play Gavin Lux or something like that.
Or Hayward, or because I haven't even looked. We obviously
Lux is
haven't got to the outfield.
37.
Hayward's 37 too.
Hayward's 30. So like, let's just click the Dodgers and stop scrolling through positions here.
Everyone's pretty. Honestly, everyone's pretty cheap outside of the top four. But even Teoscar is $6,000, dude. This is like you. This is a great way that DraftKings did this because it's a
Do you
great
think
pitching slate.
do they recall Outman? What's Outman been
We
doing at AAA?
can look it up. I have.
Let's see, Outman AAA.
I got it.
He
He's
is,
now PCL. Don't forget,
yeah,
983 OPS is pretty good. 5 home runs in 23
yep.
games.
5 stolen bases, 25 strikeouts, and 84 at bats is not going to do it for you, though.
Yeah,
That's almost 30% strikeout rate. But I mean, he would make sense to get called back up.
yeah. I mean, unless they have something else.
Well, Mookie. Well, I you know what? I am wrong on this because Mookie plays the infield.
Mookie's shortstop.
Yeah, he's their shortstop.
I'm assuming we just see Rojas probably play short every day, and then we see like Lux, Biggio, Kike, right, as like the rest of the infield until they inevitably make a trade.
Right. Yeah, I kept on thinking for whatever reason Mookie was their outfielder, but he's their infielder. So
he's their starting shortstop. Like they're not trading. They're not going the rest of the year out until Mookie, like because they're gonna get Muncy back. I guess that's gonna be a positive for them. But like, oof, we're just gonna see Rojas. I assume just play more. Rojas has been pretty good lately, anyway.
Trying to see if they have any. They have Chris Owings in AAA.
They do have Chris Owings.
Chris Owings can get called up.
Yeah, I mean that would obviously help. Be able to like for salary relief. I think you would see a very popular Chris Owings at 2K.
I don't. Is Owings even on the?
Yeah, he is. Yep, second base
Okay.
shortstop. Yeah. It would be a lot of mosh posh. I think, like with them signing Biggio, having Kike, having Lux, and having Rojas. I don't think they need to like, but we don't. Who knows, right? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. But we obviously know how expensive those guys are. So
Chris Taylor is hitting 100. He's still.
Well, that's why I'm saying. Like at this point, just try anybody else.
That's right.
All right, so we'll sidetrack there a little bit. Obviously, if you aren't going cores, Harper versus Vasquez, we talked about the splits there. Fine. I mean, the Braves offense is starting to click. We talked about it the other day that they were dead last in like every category but hard hit percentage, where they were like third during the month of May or June. And now Austin Riley's got homers in 3 straight. Matt Olson's hitting 400. Like, this offense is starting to come around. You got a struggling Reese Olson. They're in Atlanta in the summertime. Like, certainly feels like a time to jump on the Matt Olson bandwagon here.
Yeah, Reese Olson by month, 3.18 ERA, March, April, 0.64 in May, 10.43 ERA in June. I think that would qualify as pretty bad. And obviously that's 14 innings, but he had allowed 1 home run going into June, 3 already. He had allowed 12 earned runs through the first 2 months of the season, John. 17 earned runs in his last 3 starts for Reese Olson.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the Braves are a very solid play overall, and Olsen is obviously
agreed. If we're going down into the mid tier, got any favorites here?
Taglia is fine. Just given the fact that they're in cores, he's had a good little stretch here at home. Hit a big home run the other night. Had a bunch of RBIs. 4,300. Taglia is fine. Mark Canha's been good against lefties if you don't want to play Max Fried. Goldie, if you like you said, legacy. He's just been really bad against lefties, so I don't think it's necessary, but
I mean, he's mostly washed at this point.
He is yeah, I know. He is very washed.
Donovan Solano versus Sanchez.
Solano, the only thing with Padres, death taxes, we know that no one's in a home run.
Yeah, I know.
Which is
how do we play against Paxton in course?
No, well, we don't have to. We can. I mean, they have Taglia at 43.
Yeah.
Montero to a lesser extent. 1 for 3, a home run or a double RBI.
Which split side is better for Taglia? Let's figure this out here.
Let's look at Taglia here.
Because like I want to play Rockies here. Tovar may be one of my favorite plays of the day.
Taglia, so like
the lefty is not the right split for him. He's not good at all, actually, in general. But
no, he's hitting 185.
Yeah.
So, but he's hitting 150 against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, even over the last smaller sample size, righties are where the damage is coming from here. He has last 30 days against left-handed pitching, he has a 0 ISO.
Well, that's kind of crazy because he has a 316 ISO on the year against lefties. Michael Taglia. 316.
Yeah.
On the year. He has a 0 ISO over the last 30 days against lefties.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, that plays then, right? I'll take the 300 ISO in course.
I'll take 300 ISO in cores any freaking day of the week for sure.
He's
twice on Sundays.
So super small sample size, obviously. Eight at bats in cores against lefties. He's homered twice. Let's ride.
Okay, well, let's ride. Michael Taglia 43. Let's ride.
All right, let's go to second here. Maybe we'll get more exciting. Albies, Semien, Stott, another lefty versus Vasquez there at $4,800. Terang, lefties versus Soriano has been a pretty good matchup as well. What are your thoughts here?
Yes, Semien has been really, really good against lefties. Obviously, Bryson Stott has not been any good, but lefties against Randy Vasquez are really good. So for sure it can go there. Bryce Terang stole another couple bases on Sunday. That just happens every time he gets on, essentially. Nick Gonzalez had a really good week in cores because he continues to just be awesome every time out.
Yeah.
Miguel Rojas is probably going to, again, start, and he's been good. Shout out to Miguel Rojas for, like, taking all that Jazz Chisholm crap talk for taking shots off the shoulder for no reason from Jazz and then turning into, like, a really good season. And the Marlins aren't good at all, so obviously Rojas 39 is good. Lux, I mean, I'd rather play Miguel Rojas than Gavin Lux at this point, which I think is crazy to like think about a couple years ago, pre-Gavin Lux injury, but like that's where we are. He's been terrible. Horwitz probably leads off too, if you want to go there. He continues to be cheap and hit top the lineup.
Nothing else for me down here though.
I saw Amador down here, super low floor. We'll probably hit ninth, but he can swipe it back.
Sure. Third base. Good Devers versus Kikuchi, Bohm, Riley, who again homers now in 3 straight games for Austin Riley. $5,200. It's good. It's good at baseball. Machado's got lefty on lefty, but again, Paxton's been pretty trash. Or McMahon rather, lefty there. What are your thoughts spending up?
It would be Riley for me. If you're stacking Philly, like you can play Bohm. He's been a great run producer this year, 57 RBIs in 69 games. So if you want to play Alec Bohm, that's fine. Austin Riley, those would be the 2 guys that I'd be getting to over.
Okay. In the mid tier, not much for me here. You could chase a Morel home run. Not going to go against Skeens or Fried. You mentioned Rojas already here. Vientos versus righty. No thanks. Nolan Arenado's all the way down to $3,800, but you like Garrett there. Ortiz versus Soriano's 37. Is there anything down here that sticks out to you?
Dude, Joey Ortiz continues to be like super solid. Like every time you look at his numbers, guy's hitting 280, it's an 800 plus OPS. The only thing I'll say is they lead Turang off against lefties, and he gets bumped down to the lineup. But on the year, and I said this the other day, let's go to I clicked on, go to the Brewers here. He is still the team lead, 909 OPS against right-handed pitchers, 150 plate appearances. So he's been super good against righties. I know Soriano's been good his last 2 starts, but I'm willing to go to Ortiz 3,700, especially when you start getting down here. There's not a lot of good value at all. I mean, we this is an ugly value slate for third base. So give me Joey Ortiz as like my top value option here at third.
Agreed. Yeah, again, because you just kind of scroll down, there's not much. Given the matchups that are on the board here that we'd most likely look to play. Shortstop, you got Ellie up at the top against Skeens. That will at least be a fun matchup to watch at $5,800. Seager versus Peterson, lefty on lefty, but hasn't really scared us off the Seager play. Do we have Turner returning here?
Monday.
Trey Turner is going to be reinstated. So we'll see if he cracks the lineup right away, but good to have him back. And then Tovar, as I mentioned, might be one of my favorite plays of the day here.
No rehab assignment for Trey Turner. Just gone right back into the fire. I don't know if I'd get there at 53, but obviously he was running a lot earlier in the year, which is good, especially if you're going to pay the price he was. The home runs weren't there, but the speed was. Tovar is definitely an elite play. Just missed a couple of home runs this past series against Pittsburgh. Great matchup against Paxton. Love it.
Yeah, Paxton's just been so trash. We have Adames on the road versus righty, so we can't probably check that box. O'Neal Cruz, will he get it done for us here against Spears, 4,300?
I mean, like the thing about we didn't talk about Carson Spires.
Yeah.
But that might also be a guy we look into. 5 2/3 last time out. 4 hits, 0 earned, 7 strikeouts. And he gets Pittsburgh, right? So just throwing that out there. That might be
good.
That might
good
be
to see the pitch count up, right? Obviously, the pitch count that kind of held him down in those last 3 starts prior to that outing. So gets called up and gets 90 pitches. So yeah, that's a good shout.
But I mean, if I'm playing anyone Pittsburgh related, it's going to be O'Neal Cruz because he's been legitimately good against right-handed pitching. Was dealing with the ankle injury, missed a couple games at Coors, which was unfortunate for him, but then 2 for 4 on Sunday is solid. So yeah, if you want to go to Cruz at 43, I think that's definitely a good shout.
Okay. Mason Wynn, 3,700 against a lefty. Good, does have good numbers. I know we talked about liking Garrett there. Hamilton just is hitting everybody. He's $3,800. Him and Ceddanne Rafaela. You might want Rafaela right now over Hamilton, honestly. I think the ceiling profile is better, and at least it's a righty versus lefty here. Another good night going on right now for him.
For both Red Sox. Yeah, for both. Right
now. Obviously, Ceddanne was the more touted prospect,
Right.
So I think both Red Sox shortstops here are probably in play for some value.
Yeah, just looking at so Kikuchi, lefties don't hit Kikuchi. 184 average, 420 OPS. So that'd be tough to really trust David Hamilton. But on the Ceddanne Rafaela front, John. I mean, 734 OPS against lefties is just behind Rafael Devers. He has a better ISO than Rafael Devers against lefties, 160. So
yeah, and you have to take into account for the first like month plus of the season, he was not very good.
yeah,
It's just
sure.
more so the last 2 weeks as he's starting to finally find the swing,
Sure.
which happens with young guys. We talk about it all the time. They get called up. There's an adjustment period, and then they either sink or swim. Some
Right.
guys figure it out, some don't. He, at least right now, for the last couple of weeks, is looking like he might figure it out. He stole a bag tonight, so he has that home run and stolen base potential in his arsenal there. So, again, as a Red Sox fan, it's great to see. I think you could probably get Rafaela there at 32 as a punt play.
Yep.
I don't know what's stacking Boston, but if you needed to save some money here at short and you wanted to go down there, you can. Anybody else for you at shortstop?
No, Mason Wynn hits lefties really well,
Yeah,
$3,700.
I like that. Outfield then. What to do? We got Ohtani at 7K. We talked about him at first. Then you have Ozuna, who's never stopped hitting. He was about the only Brave that was hitting.
Yeah.
That has continued. Obviously, all of the Dodgers are up here. Like, where are you? What are you looking to do? Schwarber, Yelich in great spots. Like,
Man,
hard to find a bad matchup up top.
yeah. I mean, like, I think I would probably, amongst the top tier, cross Tatis off the list pretty fast. As good as he's been, no home run upside against Christopher Sanchez. I'd probably cross Bellinger off the list at 56. There's no reason he's 5,600 right now. The way Jaron Duran's playing, I'd want to play him, but it's really hard to like lefties against Kikuchi. So like anyone else other than those three guys really appeal. I mean, obviously Ohtani has multi-position eligibility as elite. If you need to save $1,000, you can go down to Teoscar. Like if you did would it feel terrible going Freeman Teoscar with the way Teoscar's hit? Like if you can't get up to Ohtani, I don't think it would feel terrible to do so. But
No, I agree.
so if you don't have the money to get to Ohtani and you have to save 1,000 and go to Teoscar, I think that's fine. Yelich, Schwarber. I think Schwarber would probably be the next guy for me. Just he's been really good lately, and it's just been like the same story for Kyle Schwarber his whole career. When he's going well, you just get on the bandwagon, and then there's that double down.
I never expected his batting average,
but 250, 250. Like usually it's like hot stretches of just like 1 for 4 with home runs, and he's done that for like eight games or 8 home runs in 10 games. But like he's legitimately hitting the baseball too. So and now he has Trey Turner hitting behind him as well. So that's gonna only make things a little easier for Schwarbs.
Yeah, I agree. Working our way down the list here. A lot of lefty matchups. You got O'Neill versus Kikuchi is 49. Adolis has been awful. Peterson's there, but he's been terrible. Let's see. What do we go to next here?
Are we completely off lefties against Paxton?
No, I mean, I don't know. Nolan Jones and Blackman. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I mean, Blackman's been really good. And Jones came back and has had a couple good games as well. And we know how good Nolan Jones was last year. Like, Paxton has been obviously incredibly lucky to have the ERA he has, 3.92 ERA. His xFIP is 5.5 on the year. And, I mean, lefties, they don't play a lot of lefties against them, but they're hitting 275 in a small sample. So, again, it's a very small sample. But 275 average, I don't know. Righties have been incredibly unlucky against him. As obviously, I want to play righties more, but just asking because, I mean, Blackman and Nolan Jones are two of the guys and McMahon for that matter, 3 of the like top 5 hitters in the Rockies lineup hit from the left side, and they don't change their lineup for righty lefties all that much.
Yeah. Trying to think here. I mean, again, I don't mind it. Obviously, I just, it's where you're trying to spend all your money because these guys aren't cheap either, right? So
yeah, sure.
I'm even scrolling down to see like, are there any like good matchups? Again, I would probably play Pajes at 43 as my Dodgers exposure.
Agreed.
Because I think obviously the upside with him and the pricing fits pretty well.
Yep. Agreed.
Marsh against Vasquez. Marsh is back. So you got another lefty against Randy Vasquez there at 41. Profar versus Sanchez. I know you mentioned Sanchez just not giving up home runs, but Profar's got some pretty elite numbers against lefties this year.
He does. He does.
Goodman homered twice the other day.
That's the only thing he's done good, man.
Right? Like,
I mean, it has been a tough season for Hunter Goodman, but like, if that's the ceiling in Coors, right? That's what you can do in Coors Field, then so be it.
On cue, Rafael singled, Hamilton singled him home. So
yep,
it just Red Sox here. What else you like in the outfield here?
Ref Snyder against a lefty. I mean, Ref Snyder's been good against lefties. Adam Duvall, no thanks. I bet you we get first round of ownership that says Jason Hayward's one of the highest rostered players of the slate, just given his $3,700 price tag in Coors Field. So I know he hasn't been great, but he's been back to playing basically every day or most days this. So he's been fine against right-handed pitching. I would love to play Jackson Merrill with how he's playing, but not going to play him lefty-lefty.
Yeah.
Just want to salute to how good he's been of late.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Cavan's obviously in the lineup, you give him a tip of the hat there.
Yeah.
Sal Frelick.
Yeah, he's been better.
You know,
better.
Been better getting lefty against Soriano there. Wyatt Langford against Peterson, 33 could be interesting.
Wyatt Langford against Peterson. Jared Kelnick has been actually pretty good of late. 3,200. Another guy homered in back-to-back games, and hits in 4 straight. So
Braves they got him leading off too, didn't they? The other day.
Yes, first time this year. Well, they lost to Harris. Harris immediate place on the IL. Like it was so fast. Like you're out of the game and you're also going on the IL. Like forget it.
Yeah. Chorio. Let's see. David Dahl's back. They got him up here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much longer with like everyone coming back, Marsh back, Trey Turner back.
All right, so that's it for now. Again, we'll make a lineup here, and we'll figure out how we're going to go about it. So we got Skeens in. What do we want to do? Do we want to go lower than Gray here? John Gray, that is?
Yeah, let's play Spire. Let's play Spires. Or I mean, Pittsburgh has been so bad against right-handed.
Yeah, that's fine by me. Catcher, what do you want to do?
You wanted to punt Kisner,
yeah, I was fine just going Kisner and just getting it out of the way here. 4,500 gives us a lot more. All right, so if we're going to do the Freeman Ohtani play.
Yeah, and then probably
3,700 a player the rest of the way.
I mean, Hayward is 37. Probably, you want to play Tovar.
Yeah, right? that one's gonna be a tough one. That gives us 3,200. So we would need 2K outfielder probably down here, which would be someone like we just talked about.
Cedon Rafaela.
Yeah, is he 32?
He's 32 exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything less that we'd want to play unless there was someone called up.
All right. Third base.
I didn't see anything. I was just doing the same thing. I looked at second.
Solano.
Yeah, I don't think we can do the I mean, if we didn't want to play if we wanted to play, I was thinking we could save.
Well, if we got off Zidane,
I just don't think there's anything
32. Because there's Peterson, so they could. I mean, they'll probably play Grossman, right?
Yeah, Grossman will probably
2,800. Gives you a $3,600 second baseman just as a punt. Horwitz.
Yeah, it would be Horwitz.
That gives you Freeman, Ohtani, Hayward with Tovar coming back. Again, if you want to make the Freeman Hayward thing work,
I agree. No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying.
I get that this is Grossman, but you gotta get the.
Nice. I was gonna do it, and then I was like, I can't do 2 because I just did the Goodman one, and I was like, I can't double down. But
one of Dahl could be in the lineup versus Vasquez. I'd willing to throw a dart there.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I mean, it's a lefty against Randy Vasquez is that's
so we'll
Texas.
see. But this is kind of where we're living if we're going to go the Tovar, Freeman, Otani route.
Yes.
Using Skeens, obviously. So Spire, Skeens, Kisner, Freeman, Horowitz, Solano, Tovar, Otani, Hayward, Dahl. Example lineup for everybody. Again, we'll be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern time to break it all down for you. So make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button, get notified, and we will catch you all later.